It was a cold, rainy evening when Laura first noticed the package on her doorstep. The sky was an ominous shade of grey, and the wind howled through the trees like a mournful wail. Laura was just about to head out for dinner when she spotted the small brown box resting on her welcome mat. The packaging was unremarkable, but what caught her attention was the lack of a return address. The label only read, "For Laura." Curiosity got the better of her. Laura picked up the package and carried it inside. The weight of it was surprisingly heavy for its size. She placed it on the kitchen table and examined it closely. The box was plain, with no signs of damage or tampering, and the tape sealing it was neatly applied. As she fumbled with the box cutter, the lights flickered and a shiver ran down her spine. She shrugged it off as a result of the storm and continued. With a quick slice, the box was open, revealing a smaller, intricately carved wooden box inside. Laura's hands trembled slightly as she lifted the wooden box out. It was adorned with strange symbols and had an antique feel to it, despite looking well maintained. The box had a small brass latch which she unhooked with a creak. Inside there was a note and an old-fashioned key. The note was written in neat, elegant script. "Laura, I hope this finds you well. The key unlocks a secret you didn't know you had. Open the box when the clock strikes midnight. It is your destiny." As the clock approached midnight, the wind outside intensified, rattling the windows. Laura sat by the wooden box, her mind racing with thoughts of what it could contain. At the stroke of midnight, she took a deep breath, retrieved the key, and unlocked the box. Inside was a tarnished silver locket. The locket was ornate, with intricate engravings that seemed to shimmer faintly in the dim light. She opened it and found a small, faded photograph of a woman she didn't recognize. The woman's eyes seemed to follow Laura as she turned the locket in her hands. Suddenly a loud bang came from the attic. Laura's heart leapt into her throat. She had never heard such a noise before, and it seemed to coincide with the moment she opened the locket. Her curiosity overcame her fear, and she decided to investigate. She climbed the creaky stairs to the attic, her flashlight casting long, jittery shadows. The attic was filled with old furniture, dusty boxes and cobwebs. The source of the noise was unclear, but she felt a growing sense of unease. Then she saw it, a large antique mirror covered with a white sheet. The mirror stood out among the clutter, its ornate frame almost glowing with a strange light. Laura hesitated, but the pull of the mysterious events led her to uncover it. As she removed the sheet, she was shocked to see her own reflection, except it wasn't quite right. The reflection was slightly distorted, and behind her in the mirror stood a shadowy figure. The figure was tall and dark, with hollow eyes that seemed to pierce through Laura. The figure began to move closer in the reflection, its face coming into focus as it approached. It was the woman from the photograph inside the locket, but with a malevolent expression. Laura spun around, but there was no one there. When she turned back to the mirror, the figure was gone. Panicking, Laura stumbled back down to the kitchen. She tried to call for help, but her phone was dead. The house felt colder now, and shadows seemed to move on their own. Desperate, she grabbed the locket and the wooden box, deciding to return them to where they came from. She left the house and drove through the storm to the address written on the package, which led her to an old, abandoned house on the outskirts of town. Laura approached the front door, which was slightly ajar. Inside, the house was in disarray. as if it had been untouched for decades. She placed the box on the floor, but as she turned to leave, the door slammed shut behind her. A chilling whisper echoed through the room. The voice was faint but unmistakable. "You should have stayed away." Laura's flashlight flickered as the shadows seemed to close in on her. The temperature dropped and the air grew thick with an oppressive force. She tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. The house seemed to come alive with the creaks and groans of its aged structure. In a moment of clarity, Laura remembered the locket. She took it out and held it tightly, hoping for a way out. The reflection in the locket's glass seemed to shift, showing her a hidden exit, a small, previously unnoticed window. Summoning every ounce of courage, Laura forced open the window and crawled through. She escaped into the stormy night, her heart pounding in her chest. Back at her home, she never saw the mysterious package again. She moved away soon after, unable to shake the fear and the chilling encounter with the shadowy figure. The locket and the box were left behind, their secrets forever sealed within that abandoned house. To this day, no one knows who sent the package or what its true purpose was. But if you ever find yourself receiving a mysterious delivery, remember Laura's story. Sometimes the most innocent-seeming packages carry the darkest secrets.